Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Travel with Us by Warren and Julie. And obviously I'm missing Julie, and we're doing something a little bit different today. We're going to do a Zoom interview. Now, first off, Julie has abandoned me. She went home for Christmas for the first time in 3 years to America. So I'm sitting here in Istanbul. And if you hear any sound in the background, like there's bells, that's not Santa Claus. That's Arya shaking herself. If you're new to us, Julie and I were traveling the world with our two dogs. We have Katie, you can see over one shoulder there, and then we have Arya over my other shoulder right there. So there are our partners as we travel. Now, as we travel, just some quick housekeeping before we get into today's interview. If you are looking for medical insurance as you travel, if you're a nomad, if you're a retiree overseas, an expat, send me an email to warrenjulietravel@gmail.com. Again, that's warrenjulietravel@gmail.com. And I'll be glad to share information about the travel insurance that Julie and I use as we travel the world for our medical needs. And we have a $1 million coverage with $2,500 deductible for $215 a month is what we're currently paying. So we are going to talk a little bit about a place today that we had visited back in 2021, had a really great time there, loved the city of Lviv, Ukraine, and we made a good friend there, Rostyslav Tesla, and he was our residency expert and he was our real estate expert, showed us around quite a bit, and we had a really great experience in Lviv. And when the war ends at some point, we're going to go back and visit. But we heard from Rostislav the other day, and he has some new news about what's going on in Ukraine regarding residency, regarding life there, life on the streets. And I found it kind of intriguing, so I thought it would be a great time to share an update from Rostislav in Ukraine. So Rostislav, how are you doing?
Hello, everybody. Good morning, everybody. I'm doing fine. It's been quite a year since 2021. It was a midst of COVID, but we didn't know what awaits us in 2022. And now we're end of 2023, and there has been quite a bit of things. And you've been in Lviv, and it has grown a bit. It's from 800,000 people population to 1 million. Because it's such an amazing place to be. Now is coming the Christmas time, and people still buying each other gifts, gathering together. Now we almost changed, like some people almost changed to the one Christmas instead of two, even though some still celebrate, and we were a bit changed for us, like St. Nicholas Day was 6th of December instead of these days, so we also had a change. Yeah.
You guys
So
changed your Christmas from the Orthodox date of January 6th, right? Changed it
yes,
to
yes.
25th.
No. We changed it from 19th to 6th. Yeah. There are some changes like this, we moving a bit toward Western
You moved from
Europe.
January 19th to January 6th?
No, December 19th was our previous St. Nicholas Day, and we moved to December 6th.
Oh, okay. I was off base on
So for us, it's a bit easier also because we need to attend different family members and so on. So it's easier like this.
that. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
very, very, very cool. So, I guess surprisingly, life is going on in Lviv, and I guess I need to remind some viewers that maybe aren't really knowledgeable on a lot of history. But if we went back to World War II, if you went back to the Civil War, if you went back to different wars throughout history, people tried to live their lives. Restaurants were still open. People would try to get together with their families. They have a sense of normalcy. So just because our friends in Ukraine are able to get together and have some good days in their life does not mean that there's not something going on there. So I want to make sure that it's not going to be healthy for people just to be downtrodden and sad 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Obviously, there's some good things or not good things happening in Ukraine, but you have people like Rostislav trying to make a slice of normalcy over in Lviv, and to our surprise, there's still a lot of people that still want to come to Ukraine during these days. We want to go back to Ukraine, but we're waiting till the war ends. But for those of you that are like thinking you want to go there and get residency or do humanitarian types of projects over there, Rostislav has helped a lot of people come do NGO types of work for uh, in the country and to get residency. And I guess there's some new exciting things on residency and EU status too. So we'll go back to Rostislav.
Exactly. Okay. First of all, I would like to explain who is coming these days, because it's pretty big. Things changed. We don't have COVID, we have something else going on here. Nevertheless, recently I was, it was March 2022, and I thought, who will come here now? But surprisingly enough, we've had, due to our network with foreign people, we had new clients. Guess what kind of clients? We had many humanitarian organizations, big international humanitarian organizations coming here. They first came to Lviv, set up their base. Okay, so like different branches of United Nations, Project Hope, French Solidarités International, Italian organizations like Caritas, all of them, we help secure housing. It was impossible to buy or sell apartment until I think May 2022. So we were focused on renting, on humanitarian coordination. Everybody was volunteering and doing everything we could to preserve what the current situation. So right now we have many people who come here to deliver some humanitarian aid or help in different humanitarian ways, such as, there's like humanitarian kitchen. You could also walk the pets that are like in shelters, from territories, from these territories where the front line, so there you could walk such dogs, you could do a lot of things actually, and there are like few humanitarian volunteering gatherings, and they meet time to time to discuss. This Saturday, I was recently in such a forum where we discuss status of foreign volunteer, its visa, its residency, how to help with this. And I'm in close touch with many such people now. And for example, one of our volunteers, he sets up 3D printing farm, as it calls this, so he will bring some kind of tourniquets to help guys close to front line. And, such amidst less interest to this, there are still people who need help, like tourniquets, and it could preserve a life, Yes, so we have such change. So it was less business-oriented people, less tourism-oriented people, but more humanitarian way people. Even though we still have some guys who we found a nice place, we did them residency, we opened them company, for example, who want to start looking at opportunities because they think it's they are first, in a way, and they will proceed what opportunities we may have, because there will be rebuildment, there will be lots of things, logistics, and those who take it first, even though it's not a financial advice, it's just kind of my ideas from what I've seen, I've spoken with, it's what I think about this, since I like my region a lot, so something like this.
Yeah, and again, we look forward to visiting you when everything is completely settled down. But for those people that wanted to go and visit ahead of time, you can still go and visit. You still have the 90-day ability to go in and spend 90 days within the country without having any kind of special visa. But if you want to stay longer to help with humanitarian things or to get residency just because you want to live there, then Rostislav is going to give you that best opportunity. But you had mentioned something to me offline that if somebody is in Ukraine, has residency for 5 years, that they will get permanent residency now. And Ukraine. And I guess one of the real perks to that is that it looks like you're being fast-tracked to join the EU, so that would give you EU residency if you were to spend 5 years in the country of Ukraine. Is that what's happening right now?
Exactly. So I would like to share some updates since 2021. Some immigration law changed, and looks like our legislator want to be more friendly towards foreign nationals seeking residency here, especially permanent residency. Before that, we had like based on origin, based on family, based on ancestry, based on investment, you could get permanent residency, right? Or if you're a very talented person. However, they add a new category since October. It's finally legal. If you've stayed here in Ukraine 5 continuous years, where you spent here more than half of year, and didn't leave Ukraine for more than 90 days in a row, in one go, okay, without a serious reason such as disease or something else, you will be entitled for permanent residency. And like the previous Thursday or Friday, it was Ukraine finally has status of with the EU like candidate negotiating, which means they will show us some exact categories we need to adopt, and it's probable and likely that within probably like 3-8 years we will be in the EU. It's what we think it's gonna be. Nevertheless, I don't know the legislators. If there is still political will, we will be there, and residency in Ukraine will be extremely valuable for everybody who wants to have such another opportunity. Right now, Ukraine still doesn't allow dual citizenship, but if you have secured permanent residency, you will be entitled to citizenship later when we allow. I think it will be allowed. Right now, there's other things Ukraine legislators need to take care for, obviously. So I
Now,
think it will be, but right after the war finishes.
now you mentioned there's a lot of pets that are in Ukraine needing help, and so there's been a lot of volunteers that have come there to help the pets. But there's also been a need that you had addressed recently about somebody bringing pets into
Exactly.
Ukraine as well, that was coming in to volunteer. And we travel with our dogs, so of course we have a very soft spot in our hearts, Julie and I, for animals. And we travel everywhere with our dogs because we have the EU pet passports. But if you're not trying to get the EU pet passport, you have the information and to bring them specifically directly into Ukraine versus the route we go, where we travel everywhere with our dogs. So if they didn't do the EU pet passport, you've got that information.
Yeah, sure. May I share the screen with you?
Sure.
Yes, okay. One moment. Okay, so here's our website. In previous video I mentioned it would be here are our partners, but I would like to bring you to the blog section where we prepare all the articles. For example, this one, it was based on experience of one of our US customer who actually we interviewed. Okay, and then we interviewed a few more, like it's a real based experience. Yeah, this is this magnificent dogs, 2 huskies. Yeah, a lady from the US, she came here with her 2 dogs. It was a bit challenging for her, of course, because there were different things. She wasn't sure about legislation. She had to ask on the group chats, gather the information online. And, we thought, why not? Let's help our new guys. We put it together in a readable format, I hope. So let's help guys with this thing, So,
I'm
and
sure the
here's
font right now is a little bit too small to read, but
yes.
you have the blog on your website, which is was it westastate.com.ua?
Yes, correct. Yes, so we will make some other useful articles when we see there is a need. So we make them as we go. There are some other things. When needed, we just write it down just for guys for this to be useful because it's from practical experience though, because there are some other tests that required, but it was the experience that it's what that gets the job done. There is passport, there is rabies vaccine, there is something else. I don't go into details. Who they need, and they can read this. It's not a kind of legal advice or something. You need to also look for new guidelines, because you could look this in 2024. It's unknown for me when you read it, but however, it's a pretty comprehensible advisory. And when we hear some new updates from our people who cross the border with a pet, we will update this article as we go, when we hear. But
And
yeah.
let me ask you a question regarding the housing there, because you've mentioned that the country has grown quite a bit. Or I should say, the city has grown. You've gone from being a country or a city of 800,000 to now your city is now over 1 million people, because a lot of that has to do because people move from Kharkiv, they move from Kherson, they move from Kiev, Odessa, over to the safety of the farther western side of the country, over to Lviv. So housing, to me, I would think is going to be a real concern, because you have so many new people coming in there. But if somebody were to come over as an NGO or want to come in and volunteer, how is the housing? Can they find a place?
Okay, sure. First of all, let me mention that at West Estate we work both with residential solution and real estate brokerage. And first of all, I'm a real estate broker. I know this market very well, and I was born in Lviv, so I could actually know what's going on here about this. When everything this war started, it was huge demand, like huge. Like, I haven't seen such demand, and Lviv was overcrowded, but it was March 2022. Now is end of 2023, and things have stabilized. And actually right now, if you are coming to find a nice housing option in Lviv, like for example, you volunteer or you want other purpose, like investment purpose, you seek something to invest in, right? For example, you will have options, not a problem. Right now is December, and I could say that now is there is a buyer market, there is a seller market. I would say that right now is a buyer's market in this regard, and the same goes for buying options. Like most of this year, throughout this year, it's been seller's market, because there were pretty high demand. And if to speak about our military guys, some of them receiving pretty high salaries, and they give, for example, power attorney to their family or relatives, and they come to buy apartment. And some of them think that their area is maybe unsafe, or maybe they like to change, and many of them choose Lviv. It is. I didn't expect this to happen, but Lviv has become, a bit more expensive in terms of buying.
Lviv is the bright spot in Ukraine at the moment.
Yeah. So because it combines all this convenience, you can have a direct train from Europe, from Poland. There is a new link recently opened from Warsaw to Lviv. Of course, you need to change when you cross the border, but they are linked together. So it is very convenient. Also, the same one goes to Krakow. And when we have our airport open, it will be like a great place. Maybe it will happen next year, but we don't know.
So if I understand from what you've told me before, if somebody invests $100,000 in
Yes.
Real estate in Ukraine, that qualifies for residency. Is that correct?
Yeah. Okay. Let's come back to the residency options. You are speaking about investment one. You need to. It counts, yes, but it's. You need to understand this approach. So you need to open a company in Ukraine, for example, limited liability company. When you are the owner and you put like a charter capital, 100,000 USD, and then we prepare the company. this process is called investment preparation. Yeah, so we prepare, like the state body needs to understand it's counts as investment, so that we can move forward with the immigration process. Yeah, so you could buy real estate, you could buy a corporate car, you could open office, you could open restaurant, you can pay your stuff from this money, you know, like different approaches. And if you want this option, it could be pretty attractive with Ukraine coming into the EU, joining the EU. It will be a long way strategy. You can you can have permanent residency within a year. And we were discussing with our another client the recent days this option. It could be as easy as you send us power of attorney, we open company, you then when you transmit this 100,000, you can come, you could look for example, real estate. You stay here like 2-3 weeks while we prepare some certain documents, and then you apply for immigration permit. It's a necessary document for residency, permanent residency. And then you come to apply for permanent residency. That's it, you know? Like you need to be here like 2 or maximum 3 times. Or we can also look at the real estate on your behalf based on power attorney, but it's up to you, you know, like you decide. So like it's pretty simple. And if you obtain here a residency is a temporary permanent, you don't have to be here at all. You could just have residency and that's it. Especially if it's permanent, it's easier because temporarily there are still some, you still need to renew this and it requires to be in person here. For example, there is 1 year residency for volunteering, it's called. And there is, you can still open a company. Even though opening company is less attractive recently, since you need to pay social contribution once per quarter. If you don't pay this, it will be a bit, they could cancel your work permit, you know. So if you don't plan to running a solid business, I would advise against company. But you know, if you want to open here like a small business or logistics or something else, it's a perfect way to go. With such kind of taxes, it's like it's very nice. For example, it could be as low as 5% income tax. Yeah, so it's very nice. If you are a resident of Ukraine, you don't pay some other taxes. It will be like great one. And Warren, also, you know, we have also sole entrepreneurship. We call it FOP here, right? So it is another beautiful taxation one-person company regime, right? So why it's beautiful, I think. You need, first of all, you need to have residency, okay? Doesn't matter which kind of residency, you need to have residency, okay? And then you open this FOP. It's very simple, easy procedure. We will publish article about this like in a week, I think, more or less. So you need to pay the social contribution. It's like $30, $35 per month. Then you have 5% income tax. 5%, you know, and you can receive invoices from foreign companies. You can receive invoice from local companies, from usual people. You know, it's if you digital nomad, for example, it will be a perfect approach for you, I think. 5%. It's like
I'm not sure how much of a demand will be right now because of current situations out there, but
yes.
I think when this is all said and done, and peace comes back there, it's definitely going to be a place of high interest. But you know, if you I guess if you're not too fearful about what's the current situation is there, and it sounds like life is really going on in Lviv, somewhat normal. And even if you go to the grocery, you have most things you need in the grocery store. You're not having shortages.
Exactly. Like we have all the essentials here. Like because Lviv, we have logistic, it's fine. Like it's in a good order, everything. It's been almost 2 years, you know. So logistic chains are in a good order. And if you allow me, I will try to make some videos from a supermarket, for example. We have fuel available. We have no disruption for the given moment, of course, you know, with electricity or fuel or anything else, everything is here. You can buy, you can eat out, not a problem. Everything is fine in
Yeah.
this regard.
So you have a video to show on that?
Yes, I will try to show, but not right now.
Oh,
I
okay.
will send it to you later. Maybe you will add it for the guys if you want to.
Nah, so yeah, I'm just going straight through here. So yeah,
No problem.
so yeah, so we'll just have to take your word on that if you don't have that fired up. So it sounds like, you know, if you are living in Ukraine, besides there being a lot more people in uniforms running around than there were when we were there. It sounds like the restaurants are open. And cost of living is still pretty decent compared to the rest of Europe.
Okay, I think it didn't change much. We have like our local currency got a bit weaker, right? But the prices catch up. You know, it was like 30%, but if you still come with foreign currencies such as euros or US dollars, for example, or pounds, you know, it's still pretty much the same for you. Pretty much the same. So imagine 2021, local currency went down a bit, but if you still have a foreign currency, you will be perfectly fine. Even though I would advise, just in case, bring a bit more in cash, you know, it will be easier for you to change it and
And
you will have a better exchange rate.
banks and ATMs are all working fine there.
Yes, everything is perfect. It's like a normally functional city. Of course, we have a pretty big war going on nearby, but like in like 700 kilometers, I believe the distance is. But pretty much everything is fine, you know. We do have more soldiers coming around, but they are just to protect us, you know.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and start winding down our interview, but I do want to ask anybody that is currently watching that if you have an experience to share, if you're an expat, if you're somewhere else in the world that, you know, Julie and I can't be everywhere, and you want to share your experiences, your expenses, send me an email, let me know what you'd like to share, and I'd love to be able to put your expat experience up and share your experiences wherever you may be in the world. I think doing these Zoom types of calls would be beneficial. Also, you can present information through your screen, like Rostyslav shared an article there. But if you want to do a presentation showing different areas of your life videos, we can incorporate that into this presentation. So I hope that we'll get some responses on that, because I'd like to start putting out some more videos with some interviews like we're doing today with Rostyslav. And Rostyslav, I appreciate you joining us on this today. And you know, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and tell everybody that thank you for joining. Again, Julie's not here today. She's in the States celebrating Christmas. I'm in Istanbul. And I'm here with the two dogs. So if you heard any snoring in the background, that was Arya. She's on the couch. She got up at 3 a.m. to let Julie out of the house to go to the airport. We haven't slept since, but she's sleeping now. So I'm a little bit wondering if you can hear that. So I thank you all for joining me today, and I hope
You
that you're
guys.
subscribe, give this video a like, and until next time, have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye. And one last item, if you do have any questions about the content of this video and questions about Ukraine residency, make sure you leave a comment down below. Rostislav and his team will check the comments to see what you guys are asking and if you have anything to say. So until next time, have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.